Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are going to make a video for final exam about
Reading for professional context, and my name is Fiansyah.
and my name is Sultan.
Enjoy for watching this video. Okay, so the article that we are going to discuss is about can nature help solve human problems like climate change? And we're gonna move into the text, and this is the text. So I'm gonna read for the first slide and just begin. So article text: can nature help solve human problems like climate change? Researchers weigh up pros and cons. Nature-based solutions are inspired by nature or use nature to address problems in society. These problems include food and water shortages, poor health, and environmental degradations. Nature-based solutions bring about benefits to biodiversity, the well-being of the environment, and human well-being. Their intention is to acknowledge nature's role in the economy and society, and include nature as a participant in finding ways to repair environmental damage. They've been embraced by international policymakers and funders as the model approach for addressing biodiversity loss. A nature-based solution must show that it has led to an increase in the number of plant or animal species in area. This enhances the natural balance among organisms and the environment. It also has to show that it is based on local conditions rather than a one-size-fits-all blueprint. Nature-based solution must involve local communities, include indigenous knowledge, and make sure that the most disadvantaged people in the area benefit from the solution. Where benefits to the environment may lead to unintended harms to people. A nature-based solution must monitor and address these harms as soon as they occur and include safeguards to protect local communities. It must also promote adaptive management based on rigorous science. This means that scientists and environmentalists must continually learn from mistakes and use this lesson to improve the nature-based solution. Nature-based solutions use the power of ecosystem to solve problems that are intertwined with nature. For example, food security, water security, human health, economic and social development, environmental degradations, climate change, and natural disaster are problems which cannot be solved without involving nature. This reframing of how problems should be solved is empowering. The nature-based solutions concept suggests that environmental problems caused by humans can be solved and that the solution exists in nature. Nature-based approaches are also often more cost-effective because they use locally available materials. They are less likely to create additional environmental problems. For example, urban green projects are not expensive to implement. They bring tangible benefits to cities without negative repercussions. Few projects meet the global standards set by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. For example, our research looked into projects in savanna ecosystem in Africa that address land degradation, food and water security, and resource scarcity. But we found that there is not yet enough evidence to show that these projects comprehensively restore the continent's savanna's greenslands. In another research project, we investigated whether nature-based solutions could help conserve water supplies for the 200 million people who live in Africa's arid and semi-arid lands. This water-scarce area covers 66% of the continent. In this area, initiatives have been set up to improve soil quality, harvest water, and start agroforestry, where food crops are planted with trees, saving water needed for irrigation. Our research found that these kinds of interventions are successful or not, largely depending on on their design and how they are implemented.
Okay, next, in these areas, initiatives have been set up to improve soil quality, harvest water, and start agroforestry, where food crops are planted with trees, saving water needed for irrigation. Our research found that these kinds of intervention are successful or not, largely depending on their design and how they are implemented. We think a clear understanding of nature-based solution is important. Otherwise, policymakers and project founders may support any project they claim to be a nature-based solution. Nature-based solution may even become oversimplified approach to complex issue. For example, a small tree planting project that a corporation may implement to improve its image. This opens the door for potential greenwashing when a wide variety of projects can claim to be solving environmental problem with a natural solution, even when this is not true. Innovative activities have been implemented in Africa with some success. For example, sustainable biofuel project and attempt to make agriculture resilient to changing climate. Playing communities incentives to conserve natural land is another example. These projects have been successful on a small scale throughout Africa but do not meet all the criteria of a nature-based solution. For example, pits are meant to be a nature-based solution that resource damage grassland and improve soil for farming. They conserve water and create habitat for termites. The termites improve the soil by breaking down plant matter and digging holes that allow rainwater to seep into the ground. Say pits have a basis in nature and they use indigenous knowledge and locally available material. However, researchers do not yet know if they will be able to support grassland restoration over the long term, or if they might negatively affect other species. They are labor intensive to set up, and therefore it is unlikely that they'll be established on a large enough scale to reduce global climate change. This raises the question, can a nature based solution be small enough to suit the local context but large enough to address global problems sustainably? We concluded that perhaps nature based solutions are a contradiction in them. However, they force a discussion that would otherwise be lacking about who benefits from environmental solution project and who lose at what social and ecological cost and with what implication for the future.
So I'm gonna explain about the topic and the main idea. And then the topic is the tech discuss nature-based solutions and their roles in addressing environmental and societal problems, particularly climate change. It also examines the benefits, limitation, and effectiveness of this approach. And for the main idea is the author emphasized that nature-based solutions are promising approaches to solving environmental and societal problems. However, their effectiveness and limitations should be carefully evaluated through significant evidence and proper implementation.
Okay, next I wanna gonna to explain the thesis, argument, counter argument, and conclusion. Okay, the thesis is introduces to concept of nature-based solution and explain the characteristic, principle, and important in addressing environmental and societal problem. Argument is highlight the important and benefit of nature-based solution, including their ability to address interconnected problems and their effectiveness. Counter argument is on the other hand, the counter argument point of out several limitations such as insufficient evidence, implementation challenge, and the risk of greenwashing. And the conclusion states that although nature-based solutions have so promised, their long-term effectiveness and ability to address global challenges remain uncertain. Nevertheless, they encourage important discussion about the social and ecological consequence of environmental projects.
And then for the outer position and supporting evidence. So for the outer positions is the author support the idea that nature-based solutions are a promising approach to solving environmental and societal problems, especially climate change. However, the author also emphasized that their effectiveness is not guaranteed and depends on strong scientific evidence, proper design, and careful implementation. The author therefore takes a critical and balanced position, supporting the concept while highlighting its limitation and risks. And supporting evidence is the author supports this position by explaining that nature-based solutions can address interconnected problems such as climate change, food security, and water scarcity. These approaches are also considered cost-effective because they use locally available materials and reduce environmental risks. In addition, research examples from Africa show both the potential and limitation of these solutions, as their success depends heavily on design and implementation. The author also highlights concern about insufficient evidence and the risks of greenwashing, where projects may claim environmental benefits without real impact. And then we're gonna move to the questions, and I'm gonna answer from the number 1 and 5. So from the question 1 is, what is the main purpose of the text in discussing nature-based solution and their role in addressing environmental problems? The answer is the text aims to explain how nature-based solution can be used to address environmental and societal problems, while also highlighting their benefits and limitations. The reading skill used is at the identifying outer purpose. And the explanation is the answer is found by reading the overall introduction and structure of the text, where the author presents nature-based solution as the main topic and explain both their benefits and limitations. And question 2 is, according to the text, what are some examples of global problems that can be addressed through nature-based solutions? The answer is they include food security, water scarcity, climate change, natural disaster, and environmental degradations. Reading skill use is scanning, and the explanation is the information is located in the first paragraph of the argument sections, where the author lists examples of global problems such as food security, water security, and climate change. And then for the third question, why does the author consider nature-based solutions to be a promising approach in dealing with interconnected environmental and social challenges? The answer is because they can address multiple global problems simultaneously and provide environmentally friendly and cost-effective solutions. Reading skill use is identifying supporting details. Then for the explanation is the answer is found in the paragraph explaining the benefits of nature-based solutions, where the author states that they are cost-effective and reduce environmental problems. And for questions, which argument it takes is the most convincing and why is it considered stronger than the others? The answer is the most convincing argument is that nature-based solution can address interconnected problems that cannot be solved without involving nature because it highlights their fundamental importance. Reading skill use is evaluating arguments, and the explanation this idea is found in the section discussing why nature-based solutions are needed, where the author explained that many global problems are interconnected and require nature-based approach. And for the question number 5, what factor determine the success or failure of the nature-based solution according to the author, and why are they important? The answer is their success depends on proper designs, implementations, and scientific evaluation because these factors ensure effectiveness and prevent failure. Reading skill use is identifying cause and effects. Explanation is this is found in the shortcomings and limitations sections where the author explained that success depends heavily on how projects are designed and
Three.
implemented.
Okay, next question, number 6. How does the author explain the potential risk of greenwashing in nature-based solution, and why is this considered a serious issue? The answer is the author explained the greenwashing occur the project falsely claim environmental benefit without the real impact, which is serious because it can mislead policymaker and the public. Reading use skill use, understanding author purpose. The explanation question. This is located in the final part of the shortcoming section where the author warned about over simplification and corporate tree planning project used to improve image rather than solve the real problem. Question number 7. Do you agree with the author perspective on nature-based solution? Provide reason based on the information in text. The answer is yes, because the nature-based solution have potential benefit, but the effectiveness depends on proper design, evidence, and implementation. Reading skill use is making inference. The explanation question, the answer is based on combining information from the benefit section and limitation section, which show both strength and weakness of nature-based solution. Question number 8. How make the effectiveness of nature-based solution be challenged if they are implemented without proper scientific evaluation in design? The answer, they may fail to achieve their goals or cause unintended environmental and social impact. Reading skill use predicting outcomes. The explanation this is based on the section discussion monitoring, safeguard, and adaptive management, which explain the importance of scientific evaluation. Question number 9. What could be the possible consequence if the policymakers adopt nature-based solution without considering their limitation and evidence? Answer, they may support ineffective project or promote solution that do not provide real environmental benefit. Reading skill use, critical thinking, or evaluation argument. Explain explanation. This is found in the part discussion insufficient evidence and the risk of oversimplification, where the author warned against blindly accepting all project. Question number 10. Based on the example provided in the text, to the extent can nature-based solution be considered scalable for solving global environmental problems? The answer is they are effective or on a small scale, but their scalability for global problem is still uncertain due to limitation in implementation and evidence. Reading skill use is evaluating argument. The explanation is the answer is obtained from the supporting example presented before the conclusion, particularly the discussion of successful small-scale project and the limitation of say bits. These examples are evaluated to determine whether natural-based solution can be applied effectively on a large scale.
And for the last is the reflection is through these assignments we gain a deeper understanding of analytical exposition text, particularly how authors present arguments, counter-arguments, and conclusions to support their viewpoints. By analyzing the selected article, we learned that nature-based solutions can offer promising ways to address environmental and social challenges, but their effectiveness depends on proper implementations and scientific evidence. We also improve our reading comprehension skill by identifying the main ideas, supporting evidence, and the other positions. Furthermore, creating and answering analytical questions helps us develop critical thinking skills and evaluate arguments from different perspectives. Overall, this assignment enhanced both our understanding of the topic and our ability to analyze academic texts more effectively. And for source information is this article, Can Nature Help Solve Human Problems Like Climate Change? Research Wake Up and Growth. So this article is from the Conversations, and the author is Timothy Downing and Cornelius Okello, and date of publication is 2025.
Okay, maybe that's all for us about the final exam reading for professional context. My name is Sultan.
My name is Laura.
Thank you and
Adios.